Welcome to another weekly episode of Marked Out Radio. We are the premier podcast focused on the hobby of collecting autographs and photo ops from celebrities. We talk about autograph conventions, on-the-street encounters, and everything else about the hobby. I'm Sean.
And I'm Dana.
And here's what happened on the board this week. Well, some people mentioned, talked about, we launched the Pro Wrestling Tees shop officially last week, the Marked Out Radio shop on ProWrestlingTees.com. There was, of course, a reception. Did you saw 16 times he posted a photo of one of our old shirts?
Yeah, those I don't even remember what site we used back then. That predated Pro Wrestling Tees, but we definitely we had an old t-shirt presence, and 16 times, being the marked out legend that he was, supported us way back then.
If you didn't see, his shirt said "Arrive, Virgilize, Leave," which is it actually is a fantastic design. It's very funny to see a photo.
Yeah, we got to get that we got to get that recreated and added to our current shop. That is a good one.
I'm still waiting for them to approve the other designs that I uploaded. I think I uploaded them on Thursday, so it should be any day now that the more designs go up.
Have they shipped our order yet?
They have. I believe it's coming Monday.
As in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can be radio suited for big event if we choose to be.
I can. You can't.
You could bring it. I could change in the middle of the con. I don't care.
I suppose for the second half of the con, you can be radio suited. Well, it depends on which shirt you want to wear. Are we going to Combo God suited, or just the regular logo, or what?
I don't know. I'm not sure if Rick Martel's ready for the Combo Gods. He finally ventured out from hiding for like a good part of a decade here. And he's going to be seen with the Combo Gods smiting people. It might scare him off.
He doesn't realize that his fate is being dictated by the Combo Gods.
I mean, I doubt he does, but perhaps he should know.
All right. So we yesterday we were packing up all of the Martel and Morocco orders and getting everything labeled and ready to go. It was a significant undertaking. There were a lot of orders, a lot of really nice high value items, and it took a while to do. And
hours. We spent hours prepping this.
And while we were doing this, though, as is always the case, we start having these conversations about the hobby and our inventory and what we're doing, and as Marked Out Collectibles, and we started coming across. I mean, we've always kind of joked about this, but we've come across inventory that, for one reason or another, just doesn't quite set the world on fire, and we really can't sell. And so it turned into a whole bit where we have this little bet going now. We posted on the Marked Out autograph collecting community last night a video of me kind of explaining the bit, but we are right now in the midst of a debate whether to dispose of certain inventory or give it away or run some kind of contest or something or other to get rid of this inventory that I personally believe it's unsellable.
I don't feel great about it. I still think any autograph there is always a hidden value somewhere. These things are assets. I don't think you could just toss them into a dumpster. I think at the very least they would have to be given a proper burial of sorts,
like a Viking funeral or something.
Yeah, we have to float them out on like an iceberg into the sea, or I think a 10-shot salute outside of a con would probably be frowned upon. So we probably can't do that. But I don't know. These are it's memorabilia, even if it's not always the most valuable memorabilia. I feel like there's something we can do with it. Space is not that limited where we have to throw stuff out.
This is the debate, and we're going to continue having that debate. What to do with stuff that just has no perceived retail value. We were also it's something kind of fun happened this week. I'm not sure. This was not something that we anticipated really, but I guess the company that puts these out is the Major Pod. They put out the Major Group. They put out I guess an exclusive variant of their Rick Martel Big Rubber Guy. So we decided, what the heck? Since we have Martel, we'll put those up for pre-order as well. And I was shocked at the number of orders that came in.
I initially took the release of the purple one as a bad thing, because we still have one blue left. And my thought was, well, damn, now people can just go buy the purple one. I mean, not realizing that action figure collectors, myself included, it's not that simple. You want the blue one probably even more because you can't buy that now. But I was thinking, oh crap, this just pollutes the market a little bit. And we figured, what the hell? Let's throw it up there since we're at the show. We're with Martel in the back. We might as well make it available. And I was blown away too.
And honestly, it looks cool. We're gonna get them all done up. It's funny. Most of the customers requested that they be done in purple. There were actually two types of customers out there. It seems the ones that are like highly specific about their preferences, and then the ones who are like, "We trust you. Do what you think is best." Which do you have any preference for those? For that?
You mean for the color that I would choose?
No,
the type
the type of customer, almost like
most of the actual detailed requests we got were reasonable. We have a lot of pens. We don't have every pen. I'm not going out and buying a pen for if someone asks for, turtle blood green from some brand I don't own. Like, I'm not buying that. You will get the closest color I can provide if you don't send it yourself. But, if you're asking for white, blue, whatever, the standard stuff, I'm happy to do that. Honestly, in some cases, I feel a little bit of pressure when they're trusting us. You definitely don't want to pick a crappy color. But I feel like you and I have done this long enough where we're not really going to pick a crappy color. So,
look, you know what the rule is? If you're doing a figure, when in doubt, white Sharpie.
Yeah,
it's
when
true.
in doubt.
White and yellow Sharpie, and actually, I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna be bold, and that light blue as well. White, yellow, and light blue Sharpie pretty much work on anything.
Agreed.
As far as making it look decent.
And what surprises me, real quick, for big rubber guys, I always like the yellow because a lot of the packaging, the insert, it's got a lot of yellow, and it's such a big window. It doesn't really ever extend past the insert. To me, yellow pops the absolute best. I think 90% of mine are yellow. And seeing the requests, we got very few. I think the one guy that said yellow, it was because he was talking to me on Messenger, and I floated yellow as my choice for mine. And he just said, all right, cool, run that for me. Most don't do the yellow like I do. So, I don't know.
I like yellow. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a specific big rubber guy, preference because of the packaging, but I like yellow generally, and yellow looks good generally. So, have you noticed there's been a lot more pen posts on Marked Out lately on the forum, on the Facebook group?
We should just reply to every pen post with the link to that 4-month-old pen episode.
I mean, we spent an hour talking about pens, but I do think, look, if you care about this stuff, pens and storage and framing are things that really matter, because at the end of the day, there's two components to this hobby. There's the acquisition of the stuff, and then there's what do you do with the stuff afterward, right? And it seems like we talk a lot about that first thing because there's more adrenaline attached to that first thing. But the second one that we probably ought to talk about more, we just kind of don't, and then people come in and they're all, and they're worried about their stuff, and some of them they're unfortunately worried after the fact when it gets damaged.
Yeah, as crazy as all of us are to some level, I think there's a special chapter in the crazy textbook for the person that just sort of waltzes up to a table, drops hundreds of dollars, and just trusts the celebrity to pick a pen off their table that is going to be primed well, still have life in it. And I think if you're doing all this traveling, spending, waiting in line, if you're not lunatics like us that you have the pen in your hand, I think you're actually maybe crazier than us in a weird way. That is like that. You must be a skydiver if you're doing that. You don't even read the reviews on the company. You just get in that plane and jump. No worries in the world, because that is reckless to me that you just let the celebrity pick the pen.
The funny thing is there are people who just don't care.
But you care enough to spend the money and to acquire this piece, so you would think you have some level of care in how it looks.
No, because what they care about is the process.
I guess. I guess that's what it
No,
boils
that's
down.
the answer. If they care about the process, they don't care about the product, which is why some of you see people walking around and kind of like letting their stuff get damaged at the show even after they got it signed because they don't care. It's fascinating because to me, getting it signed is probably the lesser of the two,
Well,
parts of the process.
I guess it comes down to like if you ever see like serial killers, and bear with me as I make this analogy.
I mean, this
Some
absolutely tortured analogy, but go ahead.
some serial killers are all about the kill, and that's basically it. They don't really have trophies. They don't take anything back from the experience. That's what they want. And then there's some that have all the teeth and the skulls and whatever things that they keep, the locks of hair. I guess you would be a trophy carrying serial killer. I suppose so, so would I, and the more serious collectors out there, and the ones that are, it's all about the rush in the moment. And after that, what does it matter?
I'm just gonna let that sit for a second.
It's a good analogy. You'll like it on the listen back. I'm telling you.
I'm not sure, but so I'm just gonna let it. I'm gonna leave you to that one on your own. I'm not gonna intervene on that. And then the other thing that we that was a little bit of got a little bit of play on the board, and will continue to get, hopefully continue to get some attention, is we have announced our private signing with the one and only Brooke Shields. This was something that we've been working on since she was announced. I believe we are the only ones doing it. Of course, we're doing it in concert with the big event in New York. That was a deal that we worked out with Tom. But if you're unable to make it to the big event, I'm sorry, not big event, Chill Out. I don't say event. If you're unable to make it to the Chill Out Con on that Friday, because don't forget she's Friday only. If you're able to make it, you can order through us, and we have some fantastic print options, and we are doing mail order as well for her. And just to be clear, those will not be signed at the con. We actually have a separate location all lined up for that.
Yeah, that's how we are able to extend that order window a little bit, because it's not even taking place the weekend of the con. It's a little bit removed, and this is definitely a little bit more your baby than mine. We were working on this with Tom for a couple of weeks. We kind of teased it a couple episodes back, and then Tom is in the midst of running 2 shows in the next month, and I hadn't heard back from him for a couple days, and I figured, all right, maybe it can't happen. So I kind of just forgot all about it. And then Tom called me the other night, and we hammered it out, and here we go. So Brooke Shields, you're the Brooke Shields arguer here as far as her significance. I know she's big. You think she's bigger than I think. But that response, it's making me a believer. We got a great response that opening night. And yeah, I mean, going on Friday for Brooke Shields, especially as an autograph collector, if you don't care about the photo op, it's a pain in the ass. So having a mail-in option now for a Friday-only guest, I think that'll help a lot of people not blow a day off to add her to their collection.
The bottom line is we're over a month out from this signing, and as soon as we post it, the sales start rolling in. So it's like, all right, there's clearly some demand here, and exactly the prints that I told you to put up were the ones that started selling. So I have a really really good feeling about this, and I have a really good feeling about Brooke Shields. I mean, I it's such a weird thing, and I don't know why I'm being looked at so weird here. I'm not a fan of anything Brooke Shields has done, but for historical significance alone, I want a piece in my collection. Are you planning on doing a piece for Brooke Shields in your collection?
Yeah. Given that we have a rate, given that we're doing this, I'll add something to my collection. I don't know what that something is going to be yet, but I'm gonna add something. And I learned long ago, I mean, for the sake of content and spirited debate, I enjoy going back and forth with you about this. But I've learned to defer to you when it comes to sort of the geriatric women of the world, because you were right with Olivia. You were right. Completely right. I consulted many of trusted big name vendors and promoters in this game about her, and they had my reaction. And you went with your gut, and you were right. So I'm all in. Brooke Shields. I'm not going to say she's the biggest yet, but she's probably the biggest private signing we've ever offered. This is a household name. I actually noticed my cousin liked the signing announcement post. He doesn't like that many of my signing announcements because he's not in the game like that, but he popped for this. So I'm all in. Let's go.
Let's go, Brooke Shields. So if you're unable to make it to Chill Out, or if you like some of the exclusive offerings that we have, by all means, feel free to jump in and purchase from us for Brooke Shields. So we had just a tremendous amount of reports. So I, in the interest of full disclosure, I wanted to cut some of the reports from the show, not because they're not good, just because there's like 20 of them, or it's just too many for me to read. So and you insisted on running them all. So what I'm going to ask you to do is take the lead on the reports because there's so many of them.
All right, I'm going to do this in a quick way, not to be dismissive of the experience. As always, this is sort of just the billboard for the marked out autograph collecting community. We can't capture the essence of any of the reports. Truly, you got to read them. You got to react to them. You got to show the people love that are sharing their stories, and you got to share your own. So I'll do the best I can. So first off, Tyler was down in Kentucky, and I forget the other state, but he made a multi-state trip. He drove 10 hours for 2 separate meet and greets. He got Stan Hansen, Marty Jannetty, and Hillbilly Jim, a 10-hour trip to get wrestling legends. And as you know, the combo gods could strike them dead at any time. So that was a good job and a good decision. Richard Rose.
Let me stop you for a second. I was crying reading Tyler's report because it really, I don't know Tyler. I don't think I've ever met him. And yet, he truly embodies the marked out spirit by trying to capture 2 sightings that are, hundreds of miles apart. In the same day.
It was Ohio and Kentucky, and I believe I'm going to assume it was the Chillicothe thing. That event I assume was the Ohio one, and then I guess Kentucky was probably Hillbilly, which so that is where he went. Kentucky was Hillbilly. Yeah, it's marked out. That's marked out. This guy would have hung on Marked Out in 08. That is classic Marked Out. I'm proud of him. That is awesome. Richard Rose was busy as he always is. He got Indy Hartwell at the Wrestling Collector. Indy Hartwell gets around a lot. Everything looked great there. He was also one of many who attended the Philly show. He got a cowboy seat back done, among other things. Everything looked great. Not to be solo at the Philly show, Ari and his son were there as well. They have those 16 by 20s of like the different stadiums. And they add to that as they always do. They look great. And they also met Mike Piazza. And as a Met lunatic like I am, I'm always going to pop for Mike Piazza.
Even after the Shia LaBeouf stuff?
I mean, yeah. I already paid for him. So honestly, the meaner he is outside on the street, the better. Because it makes me feel better about my investment. Phil hits the Philly show as well. And listen, Jim McMahon, he's not in the McMahon family, but he's pretty damn popular in the marked out world. Phil got a bunch of cool stuff, including a Jim McMahon get. Greg 2600 is always at the Philly show. He had also, I think Jim McMahon was one of his big names. He also got Chipper Jones, which if there's any sort of baseball gods out there, as a Mets fan, they must be looking down at him with a little bit of disgust for getting Larry, but good job on that. And he also talked about the fact that the general layout of the show is very inefficient. You can't purchase things on your phone online. You got to wait on lines for paper tickets. There's multiple lines. It took hours. He and many others missed some of the early guests because it took so long to get in. Sounds like the Philly show has a couple things they need to work on. And just one little anecdote from Greg's report that was funny. Marked out legend Jareski was in attendance. Jerry is not a sports fan. I think the closest thing that you could really find for Jerry with sports is that he's shaped like some of the balls that they play with, but he's not watching sports. But he needed some of these guys because they were in Married with Children, or they did a commercial that he's watched. guess he doesn't fast forward commercials. He must watch them to gain his wants. But yeah, that is classic. If you are a board member from years ago, that's just something that you'd say only Jerry. Only Jerry is meeting these guys for guest spots and commercials. Still on the Greg 2600 page. He was running around in New York City. He got the Drew Carey show's Krista Miller, who he said was difficult in the past, but he got her. Lisa Rinna did a book signing at Bookends. He was there as well. Jenny Slate has apparently ran away from him in the past, which I was shocked. The Interlopers didn't eat him up for that. Seth MacFarlane, he caught in the middle of that, nor'easter, it looked like, but that's a good get. Seth MacFarlane is a massive name who is not very nice. So that was great. And in a success that I was jealous of, although I likely would not have traveled in to do it, Matthew Fox, Jack from Lost, is back after 15 years, which is a very Lost type of occurrence there, that he went missing for that many years from the world, and he's back. And he looks slimmer, he looks older, but it's still Matthew Fox, and he did it, and apparently he's on the comeback trail, and I really hope someone gets him for a con. I didn't even think of him during the prediction season, but he's on a top 10 list for me. I have so much else from Lost. I really just need him and Jorge Garcia. What the hell's he doing? That guy's doing nothing.
You have to bring up though that when Greg got Seth MacFarlane, he got him more or less by appealing to, like, look at me, I don't have anything to sign, just I want the photo. And look, it's pouring outside. Almost like by basically acknowledging the humiliating nature of the combo hunting experience. And I guess Seth MacFarlane thought it was kind of funny and took the photo.
Yeah, that was the move he tried, minus the rain, with Jodie Foster when it didn't work. And then he, which is still one of my favorite combo hunting moments, when he slam dunked the 8x10 into the garbage can. That's still one of my favorite moments. Maybe all he was missing was rain. Maybe Jody would have taken mercy on him in the rain. But that's what you got to do. That's not. Some people would say, "Oh, if he didn't want to do it, leave him alone." Or you got to be persistent. You got to know how to sort of sell yourself. That's what you do. Great job. We don't have a singular report from it, but I've heard through the grapevine. Liv Morgan did a free signing in Brooklyn, Williamsburg. You sent it over to me. And the first fans online were there 8+ hours early, which the free signing culture still and will forever baffle me. If it's someone you can't get with a price tag, I get it completely. I've done it. But when you can go to Fanatics Fest and drop $100 and that's what, $12 an hour? That's whatever. More power to anyone that did it.
My real question is, though, what time did they cut off the line? Because, if you could walk up near the end and just walk up, is it then it's worth it? Is it possible to do that?
Some people I was reading, some people got there like 10:30 and they got in. I believe one thing I was reading, the person got there around 10:30 in the morning and they were within the last 5 or 10 that they let in. I think over 100 was still on the line. I don't think they ever cut it off, which that's kind of that's the nature of free signings. They're just not so organized signings. If you show up on the late end of things, you're screwed, potentially. They don't do the whole, you are the end of the line, tell the people after you to go home. They don't do that. So if you show up at 11:30 for the 1 o'clock, you're going to possibly wait, 2 hours for nothing, or 4 hours for nothing, because they wouldn't have cut it until 3 o'clock. I don't have the constitution for that. I respect everyone that does. If I can pay for it, I'll pay for it, and I can't deal with that. But, the photos turned out great. Liv Morgan's always super fan friendly. So that was great. Marked out reader Brett attends a local con and met some awesome names like Mr. Kennedy. Always great. And I think he was dressed like a Power Ranger, which I guess adds to the memories.
I think next show we go to, which will be, I believe, a big event, you should go dressed as a Power Ranger.
So that's an idea. I wonder how the combo gods would feel about that.
Have you ever cosplayed at a con at all?
No, I haven't.
And you have no urge to do so?
No urge to do so. The brief moment in time when my wife joined me at a couple of cons, she said, it might be fun. I might cosplay one year. And then I explained to her what the cosplay experience was, which is strangers walking up to you and asking for photos. And she was basically like, I'll curse them out and tell them to leave me alone. And I'm like, well, then you shouldn't be cosplaying. That's the point. That's sort of what you're advertising, that you're open for photos and interactions. And if that's not your bag, which I understand, then don't cosplay. So she never cosplayed. I would never cosplay. I mean, the most I do is a t-shirt. Like, I may cosplay as a Combo God supporter for half of the big event, perhaps. But I have no desire. You've cosplayed, right? You did the Jurassic Park suit in whatchamacallit in Pittsburgh.
I don't know if that really counts, but I
had a vest on. You had the whole 9 yards.
No, it was a work shirt. So, okay. Well, I cosplay. My most infamous cosplay is obviously Jushin Thunder Liger at Legends of the Ring.
Yes.
Which I also revisited at that Lucha show in Philly. And then and one of the so I have a couple of Halloween costumes that I made that are not, I wouldn't call them cosplay. Like, one of them is a Jurassic Park employee, where it's just a work shirt with a name tag and then a Jurassic Park patch on it, and then I pinned a little dinosaur to the shoulder, and I had like a safari hat. So I don't know if that really counts.
Of course,
it's moderate.
You pinned a stuffed dinosaur to yourself, and you wore a safari hat. You wore it on safari. That is definitely cosplaying.
That's as far as I go. I actually also have a kind of a fun Terminator cosplay. It was really, again, a Halloween costume where it's just, again, it's a work shirt as a Cyberdyne Systems employee, and that's all it is. So
I don't know if t-shirts count as cosplay. I mean,
no, it's a work shirt.
Oh, when you keep saying work shirt, they meant that you wear them to work. You yourself. Okay, I get you.
No, a work shirt is a type of garment.
Okay.
Like a Dickies shirt,
Yeah.
with a patch from Cyberdyne and a name tag on it. And I also have a mug that goes with it, like a Cyberdyne Systems mug. And I also have a little version of the chip from the Terminator head. This is a very T2 specific thing. But yeah, I'm like one of the random employees in the building, which I think is funny, Oh, and I have a Cyberdyne Systems baseball hat. I'm one of like the laboring employees,
Okay. So to keep
maybe I'll dust that off for a future con.
You should. All right, to keep the train rolling, Johnny Knollwood attends Love Rocks. He got Paul Schaefer and Nile Rodgers. Looked like a great time. Chris Collector, marked out legend, attended the Sopranos dinner event in New Jersey, and he reported a great time. It seemed like everything was sort of as advertised. They were good about signing. The photos were good. Apparently, the meal was solid. He took his significant other, and it looked like they had a nice time. Date nights and combos, when those two things can intersect, I suppose it's an interesting time. Thank you for sharing, Chris.
Are we going to bring up the controversy about that event or no?
Yeah, I was debating if we should or not. You want to?
Yeah,
let's do it.
That event was put on by Overtime Promotions, and then there's like criminal proceedings against Overtime Promotions for basically running fake private signings and having just running up serious issues into the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, all that stuff with the Kelsey stuff in the news. That's all them.
Yeah, so the fact that they're still running shows is kind of mind-boggling, given the legal trouble that they're in. I don't quite understand how that's possible.
I mean, I think it goes to show that us combo collectors don't. Well, first of all, it's obvious we don't care. If Genghis Khan came back from the dead and booked a great appearance that we wanted to attend, I think we would just buy a ticket and go. I guess the argument can be made that if you're not trusting them to mail order or anything of the sort, and you're just walking in person and trusting your own two eyes for the experience you're having, it doesn't really matter. Like, if you buy a ticket and they run away or get locked up before then, a chargeback will protect you. But it's definitely an only in this world kind of thing, where you have this person that's on the news for, corrupt shenanigans, and then he's still actively working in that world while awaiting, I believe he's awaiting sentencing. I think the initial proceedings has happened. So it's wild. But if I needed these people or more of these people that I cared enough to go to New Jersey for, I wouldn't have hesitated. I really wouldn't care who was running it.
I mean, I guess the whole point is that if you're paying with a credit card, like you really got to start thinking. If you're paying with a credit card, these people have your information, and they've already shown kind of an inability to deal scrupulously. I don't know. I do understand why some people get a little bit skittish dealing with people who are known fraudsters. And this was not a small amount. This is not nickels here. This is a major operation. It's an interesting concept. How willing are you to do business with someone who is engaged in fraud in other aspects of their life?
Yeah. But it's also a slippery slope. You start disqualifying promoters and vendors for having granted, this is a much, much bigger incident, but you start disqualifying people for fraud, and you see a lot of bodies hitting the floor. Yeah, I don't judge anyone for being skittish or wanting to stay away for sake of just doing the right thing morally or ethically, whatever. But I think I would have been right there with Chris if I needed more of these people, where I'll take my chances.
Was Jackie Jr. there?
He was, I believe.
That's
I mean, I passed up him. I mean, I passed him up by your house. I'm not going to go there. I'll get him eventually.
You're also strangely opposed to these dinner kind of events.
What's the point? My wife would not want to go to this. Definitely would not want to go to this. I mean, what am I really going to do? It's just it's wasted money, really. The food of it all doesn't really appeal to me. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the dinner events. I agree. And to continue on, we have a few quick Monster Mania hits. Since we recorded on Saturday, the reports came after our recording. So Zach Chiara was there, and he always gets great shots. He had a great experience, it seems, with Linda Hamilton, among others. Frank Ben Pensata shared his Bruce Dickinson op from Saturday. If you are a fan of metal and rock the way he is, that is a huge name. We didn't really see a lot of Saturday reports with him. That was the only one we got, but it seemed his line and his crowd was pretty huge. Antonio was also at Monster Mania. He had some great Terminator prints that he got signed. They look great. And just to sort of close off the Monster Mania aspect of it, Vinny was there. He went Monster Mania Sunday. He got Ethan Embry, who was a with the fact he hasn't been around in a couple of years and the Scream effect, he was a big hit. Gave people, as we discussed, their money's worth and then some. He also got Thomas Jane, who was a little more business than Embry. But I mean, honestly, I have family members that are more business than Embry. Embry would have given you the shirt off his back in this first appearance back. But he got Thomas Jane on a print that looked great. And he had Savini, con legend, horror legend Savini. He is still a weird guy. He's not very friendly, which isn't really the weird part. The weird part is he insists on taking the selfie when you get a photo up. He doesn't want you to hand it off. I don't know if he's self-conscious. He thinks he's fat. I don't know what it is. It's a little weird. If he thinks it's quicker, he gets rid of you quicker. I don't know. But he is still doing that. It's fine. I mean, you don't need a full body shot with Tom Savini.
I got Savini years ago. That wasn't an issue.
Then maybe he started it. I guess it's a new thing. When I got him 2-3 years ago, he did that. And now Vinny had the same experience. I mean, maybe it's an occasional thing. Maybe he didn't have a helper. It could be that. I don't know. Maybe he's not that strange. But it's a weird thing. You don't see that many people who do that. And to close off our Monster Mania reports, Jaco posted a Terminator 2 poster print that he got signed by Michael Biehn, Linda Hamilton, and Eddie Furlong. Perhaps he was going by one of the extended cuts, or he was just taking Michael Biehn on it as sort of just lineage and the fact that he is important to the story since he is half of John Connor. I don't know, but it looks cool. Great signature placement, and hopefully the frame is good. I couldn't really tell what the frame was like.
Yeah, let's keep plugging along.
Yeah, we have one more report, and this report kind of, as certain posts do, it kind of knocked the marked out autograph collecting community off its axis for a few minutes. It was pretty damn big. He got Michael Shannon. I believe it was up in Boston.
I think it's like 80,000 views on this post by now, or maybe even more, right?
Yeah.
Last time I checked.
We'll get to what the controversy was about in a moment. but he got Michael Shannon outside of a play. I think it was up in Boston. And when you're outside of these things, like when I used to graph on the street all the time and I did 8x10s, I had a clipboard. I would put a clipboard on top of the print and that's what I had. You can't graph with a floppy, and this is not a Blue Chew commercial here, but you can't graph with a floppy photo. You need something for this the signature is going to look like garbage. I don't care if you're a collector, if you're a dealer, whatever you are, you need something. And nowadays, the new thing is a board. People use like painter's tape, and you can put, the biggest thing you could think of on this board, and it's supported. And a lot of those people, the jealous, angry, whatever it is, the people that are so angry at anyone that might be profiting off of autographs get enraged. And what happened with the board was you had the board with 2 8x10. Michael Shannon hit both pictures. He signed Michael on one, Shannon on the second. So we had a little bit of a discussion about, was that intentional? Did he just think it was one like 11x14 and he just did them both? He just like signed on both by accident. My theory is he knew it was two separate and was trying to be a scotch, trying to be nasty, trying to be whatever. He's a strange guy. When I met Michael Shannon, he had a work shirt, I guess as you called it, and he like chose to write the word pisser on his pocket of the shirt in Sharpie. And I don't know why you would do that. I don't, if someone out there understands the reference, if it's from a book or a movie I didn't watch or read, let me know. But I've had weird experiences with him. He's usually nice, but he's weird. And people went nuts. Serves you right. You were going to sell it. Why else would you care unless you're going to sell it? And I mean, it's the same argument you get every time, but it never gets less dumb. A collector can care what something looks like. Going back to what we said about do you care what something looks like or not? You can be a collector and care. Doesn't mean you're a dealer. And if you are a dealer, why do you care? They didn't screw you out of an autograph. Like, you're not Michael Shannon. Like, it's always crazy to me. But what were your thoughts? You think Michael Shannon did that intentionally?
I've never met Michael Shannon, but I'm not sure one way or the other. I would think they're almost equally possible, but I'm not. I mean, the thing is, I believe the poster, Matt, he mentioned that he's a collector. He wanted them, so his plan was to frame them side by side. So it is kind of funny, I guess. It's not like Michael Shannon autographs are, you're gonna put your kid through college with them, I should say. So, if God forbid you decide to make the decision to have a child, it just seems like, I don't know. People get all worked up about this stuff that I don't get it. It's funny. The prospect of him, basically ruining the 8x10s, if you will, is kind of amusing. It's sorta. That's, I guess, the funny piece. But there are people who like really took satisfaction in the prospect of someone's stuff being ruined, and that's just weird for me in a way. I don't quite understand it, but that's fine. So yeah, I mean, posts like that, you wind up as a moderator, it makes us busy.
I banned a couple people, as I always do. You had the people that were on the poster's side because Michael Shannon has political views that they disagree with. That never fails to amuse me on either side. To care what someone's views are.
Oh, I didn't even see those posts.
Oh, yeah, he's a libtard, this and that. Screw him. Why would you want his autograph? There were at least 3 or 4. And those people I just banned instantly. Because if you're bringing politics to marked out autograph collecting community, I don't care who you are. If Greg 2600 went on a political rant right now, I'd ban him. Like, I have no patience for that. Like, I see enough politics on my feed. I don't want to see it on the group. And
it's an insult to the combo gods.
Yeah, the combo gods don't care about Trump or any of the presidents out there unless they're signing. Combo gods like all candidates equally because it's all about the combos. It's not about anything else.
So that's it for the reports, right? So let's see. There was some interesting news that happened this week in the world of autographs. The first being, I got super excited when I believe it was Ira sent us the information about that Keanu Reeves is doing another tour with his shitty band Dogstar. Why do we care about this? Well, they're offering VIPs, and as part of the VIP, it says that you're getting your own photo with the band. So We will see if they deliver that. I know in the past they tried to say photo with the band meant all the VIP people get in one group and they take one giant photo together from the stage. I mean, I have my chargeback on the ready if that's even a question. But we both bought it. Yeah, I had to kind of nudge you a little bit to buy it. You were like on the fence.
Well, I know what it was in the past, and they sort of chose a little bit of a unique way of sort of advertising this. But they say in no uncertain terms that each transaction gets one photo, which means that you're not going to be lumped in with 45 other people with one photo taken that you're all sort of emailed. I'm assuming that's what that means. Like you said, I will charge back. I wouldn't say gladly, but I will do it without hesitation if they are playing with that sort of language. I don't really see how you can. It sounds to me pretty cut and dry. Now, could they still do some stupid thing where the band is standing upright on the stage, we're standing on the ground like morons, and basically our head is by the tongue of Keanu Reeves' shoe? That's a possibility, I suppose. Like, things like that could still happen where the language is satisfied and it's still not really a great product. So
I don't really understand on a conceptual, like, theoretical level what the point is of like deliberately screwing over VIP people who are willing to pay more money. This doesn't make sense to me. You know,
I don't think they would. I don't think they would do that. I think they did if it like that type of thing makes sense on a group like this, cluster type of op where everyone's you don't want a stampede of people trying to like get next to somebody and it gets crazy. With something like that, sure, everyone is sort of no one's directly next to them. It's actually more equitable than the alternative, I guess. But if it's one photo per transaction, people were getting Keanu outside the play, bum rush style. People were getting him outside of his apartment while he was doing the play, bum rush style. So I mean, he's not not happy about it, but I mean, people are near him constantly. So like you said, why would you screw over? I mean, this is not the most expensive, but it's nearly $500 with fees. It was like $474. That's not peanuts. So I mean, I would hope they will at least give us what is promised and not intentionally sort of screw around with us on a quality level. But regardless, I mean, if it's a success, it'll be content. And as twisted as it sounds, if it's a complete disaster, it's going to be better content. So, I mean, it's definitely be something to stay tuned for, as a listener of this radio, to see how angry we get or happy.
Yeah, so it's always nice to see the hobby presented in the mainstream, even in strange ways. And so there was a bit was it on Raw this week with the Danhausen thing?
I think that was, I haven't watched this week's Raw yet. I think it was just on the socials. I don't believe this clip made to Raw. Maybe it did. I don't think it did, though.
There was a clip from the WWE socials of Danhausen running around signing Cody Rhodes merchandise in a mischievous way. And, making all of these, there was a moderate debate. I actually thought Marcus's post was really funny. Did you see it? His comment?
Yeah, I didn't respond to it.
He made the items invalid, but in a way, the items then become screen used, which then therefore makes them valid. What do you think?
Yeah, I've been chewing on it ever since. I think it maybe matters if it actually made the air to Raw, like, screen, like, are we counting Instagram as screen used? It does have to be on the actual telecast. Like, using that logic, you could have, I could record Rick Martel signing Terminator posters and post it to Instagram, and I'd say, well, look, now it's
well, no, the whole point is this was filmed as part of a produced segment.
Yes, but I'm saying I think it's more. I'll side more with Marcus's take if it hits Raw. If it doesn't hit Raw, it's a little more debatable. If it hits Raw, for sure, it is a prop that will probably hit the WWE auction site, and I bet
that's probably where it's going.
Yeah, and probably sell for $300 at least.
What else do we have news wise? I think did you post the initial video or did someone else?
I didn't. I think it might have been. Actually, I don't even want to say. I want to say Jack Proctor, but I'm not positive. Someone
You might be
posted the
right.
initial video.
So
Yeah.
there was a video that was somewhat viral on social media of Chapel Roan. It's actually kind of fascinating that this is like Chapel Roan's second time appearing on Marked Out. And I thought the whole story was funny on multiple levels, but Chapel Roan, I guess she was being pursued by a mix of graphers and or combo hunters, if you will, and paparazzi. And then so she takes out her phone and she starts making TikToks, I guess, trying to get people to see what her life is like being hounded by these people. Then that kind of blew up on social media, and then Boy George offered her some advice to kind of just roll with it and do your best to roll with it. But my favorite part of the whole discussion was you defending Chapel Roan to Greg as someone who's noteworthy, because I had to do the same to you a few months ago.
Yeah, now I'm aware. Now Hot to Go has entered my like awareness. Pink Pony Club was pretty damn big, and I bet you she has more that I'm unaware of that were, moderately big. She's a name. She is. You can't disrespect her accomplishments, even if she's not in your playlist, even if I did that 6 months ago. The one anecdote I'll say, and I think it's a very real thing for people that want to keep chasing combos from the younger and newer generation. This social media world, these people, these 20-somethings of the world, are so mentally weak. And that might sound kind of nasty and judgy, and I guess that's sort of what I intended to sound like. They everything is a big problem, and they have to share their upsetment. Like, Madonna was probably frustrated in the 80s, and she's miserable, always was. But guess what? There was no outlet for Madonna to post and kick and scream and woe is me. And so many of them now, that's how they are. They can't take it, the anxiety, the this, the that. They're being gaslit. And I know gaslit has nothing to do with this, but all these terms and words that generation uses there, it's just, I think combo hunting is going to be a lot different with the younger generation, because a lot of them are just basket cases that can't take any sort of scrutiny or pressure or anything. If they're uncomfortable in any way, they got to cry about it. And I think Chapel Roan is probably the tip of the iceberg of the next wave of stars. Matt Damon's and Robin Williams of the world, you're not going to see as many of. I just my 2 cents and my prediction.
You're probably right. I mean, she's kind of from the beginning been a little bit skittish with the concept of fame and has had issues, public meltdowns and such. So she's going to be one of those types, a head case.
Yeah, but it's even the newer rappers. When you see them and they take pictures with fans, it's all that like covering my face with your hand and all this like weird stuff they do. Like, you get a photo with Method Man, he's not covering his face. Like, it's just this new generation, they're weird. But I mean, the old generation probably thought our generation was weird, and it just really, is what it is.
Yeah, there's no reason for you to be looking for new musicians to listen to. At some point, and I believe this, as weird as this sounds, like, your tastes sort of freeze.
That's where I am. I don't listen to really anything new.
Yeah, it's too difficult to try and like new things.
If Looney Tunes brings a rapper out that's local, and I'm like, this might be the next Drake, even if it's not something I listen to, if I could get him easily or cheaply, I'll do it just to appease the combo gods. But there's very, very, very few new artists I can listen to. I just don't. My playlist is sort of stuck where they were 20 years ago and 15 years ago.
So we had a little bit of a debate a couple weeks ago about the Bryan Cranston event that was over in Europe, in London specifically. There was an event where it was like an evening with a Q&A and discussions and photo ops and this and that. And it was very unclear what exactly was promised to people. In the original ad, it said that it was a personalized autograph, and which a personalized autograph, meant a couple of different things. And you were adamant that he was only going to sign the show poster. And I said, I don't know. It says personalized autograph. It's debatable. And then the people who bought tickets received an email that a personal item could be signed. And so maybe I was going to be right. Well, as it turns out, a lot of people did bring personal items, and then he refused to sign them and would only sign the poster for the event. It was actually kind of mixed signals about that. A lot of people, the problem is a lot of people brought Breaking Bad stuff. and he wouldn't sign Breaking Bad stuff. No, I don't think anyone tested him on like a Godzilla item or a Malcolm in the Middle item or something. I don't know. We don't have, not being there, we're not sure how that all shook out.
Yeah, I'm of the belief if you're going to an event for Bryan Cranston, the only reason to bring Malcolm in the Middle or Godzilla or anything else would be the strategy of it all. That you'd be like, well, historically, this guy hates signing Breaking Bad. I don't trust that he will sign Breaking Bad. So I'll bring the next best thing in hopes it increases my chances. I don't know if anyone would really. I mean, I guess there's some Malcolm in the Middle super fans out there. The reboot is coming. But
well, he has a very famous Seinfeld, background role basically.
Yeah, Tim Watley, DDS.
Right. So what if you did that?
I mean, if you did that, I suppose there might be. We have a couple guys, Zach Chiara and Zach Linder. Apparently, all the Zachs, they collect the Seinfeld shots. I think Vinny might have a couple as well. If you're that kind of a collector, I mean, honestly, that would be definitely Linder's first choice over a Breaking Bad piece, I think. But I in the general world, I would think 95% of the people would want Breaking Bad if they were given a choice.
I'd probably want a Malcolm in the Middle one first.
I respect
actually,
I know you're a fan.
My only Bryan Cranston item I have is actually a Malcolm in the Middle item that I got for alarmingly cheap on eBay. It was one of those cast Christmas cards where the whole, I guess the various production people and stuff, the whole cast would sign a Christmas card. And I have one. I actually, to be honest, I got to dig it out and find it.
Don't you still have that? You probably still have the liquor bottle, right?
Oh, yeah. Where the hell is that liquor bottle? Come to think. There's the wine. Where the hell is that liquor bottle? Oh, there it is. I see. It's on a shelf all the way in the back. I do have the liquor bottle. You're right. So I have two Bryan Cranston items. But a liquor bottle is a pain in the ass. It's so hard to sell.
Listen, we had that question a couple of weeks ago about like a signature you'd love to take from one item to another. I mean, I didn't think of this at the time, but holy crap, those liquor bottles.
Oh, like Kurt Russell.
If I could pull the Kurt Russell off.
What's his face? Paulie Walnuts, right?
Yeah, 50 Cent. I would love to have 50 on a Get Rich or Die Trying vinyl instead of that, but alas.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, here we go. We've answered the question twice now, weeks later. There's our new answer.
So Wicked Ink Wednesday was kind of a smash hit this week. We had Nikki. She posted a Bernie Williams hat signed by Bernie Williams. I mean, everyone loves Bernie Williams, right? That was pretty cool. Actually, she was looking for advice for how to store it and keep it safe, and I don't think anyone answered. To be honest, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you go on some of those sites that create the companies that create the cases for helmets and footballs and what have you, I'm pretty sure they would make ones for hats as well. I would think they probably have sizes and shapes for everything like that.
Probably some kind of shadow box thing you could do, but I think that's a hard thing to do yourself. You probably need a pro.
I have one. I actually have a couple signed hats in my collection, but the one I got in person, I have a Walt Clyde Frazier signed Knicks hat. That back when the Knicks did the preseason games at Nassau Coliseum, I remember I was like wearing it, and I pulled it off my head, and I got him to sign it at the broadcast booth, courtside. I got down there, and he just took a ballpoint pen off of his desk and signed it with that. I didn't have a Sharpie. I was like 12, maybe 11, 12, and I was stupid. Didn't have one. But shockingly, it's held up better than many of my autographs. It actually looks exactly like it looked the day I got signed.
You know the dirty little secret that ballpoint pens, like big pens, are extremely high quality writing instruments. That they're designed, to last forever. It's not like unfortunately some of the Sharpie stuff is just not. But we talked about pens enough. Did you see that John posted the signed Macho King Hasbro?
Yeah, that's insane.
What a beauty! What a freaking beauty!
You don't see the Macho King forget signed. You don't see Macho King mock in good shape often. Period. That is a rare piece. It's graded. It's authenticated. It looks awesome. And I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the air, but I really like how the Hasbros look in the acrylic cases. I kind of want to start doing that with some of my better ones, but they're expensive, and last time I looked, they're like, it's challenging to find. The site that used to sell them is like out of stock, and I don't think they've gotten them back.
All right. So I believe at Steel City, actually, there's a vendor that does this.
By does this mean they hand you the case that you can put your own stuff in, or do you have to like bring the item to them? How does this work?
I believe there's one of two ways. You can either have them measure it or bring them measurements and they'll make them and ship them, or you can bring the items and they'll do them there.
Okay. That won't be this time around.
It's either Steel or Rhode Island. I can't remember which one it is. It may be both, honestly. It may be both. But it's
one
either
of these
Steel
days,
or Rhode
I'm going to do it. I don't think I would do it with like I'm not going to do it with my French card Valentine, but like the Ric Flair, the Hulk Hogan, like the more showpieces of my collection, I think need acrylics one of these days.
You're not going to waste money grading them and stuff, right?
No, I don't care about that because I mean it is what it is. I'm not going to dump it and get a better one if it's crappy. I don't really care.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just purely for keeping it safe and for aesthetic reasons. And finally, just to just continue rubbing salt into your wounds, Kyle posted the Owen Hart signed Bone Cruncher. Now, I mean, I am, as you know, not a fan of Bone Crunchers at all, but I am a fan of Owen Hart. And seeing Owen Hart sign items are, especially figures, they're not common. Well, the 8x10s are not that rare because Owen signed his ass off. But figures, not common. It was very cool.
Yeah, I always pop for a Bone Cruncher.
Yeah, it's kind of your thing. I think you should make him an offer. Where do you think something like that lands, auction-wise?
I'm not sure if it's the same one. I have to look closer at it. I've seen an Owen Hart signed Bone Cruncher has changed hands several times in the last couple of years on the groups. I think they usually throw it up as a list price of like $1,200, but I don't think it goes for $1,200. I mean, $800-900, maybe $1,000. I mean, I would probably list it higher than $1,200.
That's just not that bad. You should make a move on something like that.
One day, perhaps.
When you think of all the dopey Hasbros that you have, that would be better than any of them, right?
In theory, but I mean, it feels more. It's more of a move. If you're, I could do 4 all-in Hasbros for the price of that. Like it's like, well, it seems like it's like quality over quantity, but.
Yeah, but I mean, you like the Bone Crunchers too. It has a whole meaning to you.
No, it does. I mean, at this point, I'm not, as much as I love the early 90s WWF characters, I'm not trying to see the Repo Man show up in my driveway. So I got to pick my spots.
All right. Photo with Friday. I thought this was the best Photo with Friday in months. I was very excited to pick from this list. Juan he was at a work event, but he used his marked out instincts, his finely honed servitude to the combo gods comes in handy, and he lands a photo with Lance Armstrong. I popped huge for that. People forget there was a moment when Lance Armstrong was one of the biggest stars in the world. There was like that moment, where he was like, everyone was wearing those yellow bracelets. Were you swept up in that fever?
I was not, but I did buy other like rubber bracelets after that was so popular.
So you're probably a little bit young to have been the part of that whole thing. There was a minute where you could not turn your head and not see something with Lance Armstrong. What's funny is when I saw that Juan posted about a work event, I have a work event coming up this weekend where I have the opportunity to meet, I would say, very, 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 very high profile, top tier names in politics. And I can't do it because of the nature of the work event. So I think
that's a cop out. Juan managed, you can manage.
I don't see how that's possible.
Just take the most pathetic kid with you that looks the most pathetic, and you use them. You exploit them for the combo.
So this is kind of a fun one. Referee Billy Silverman. Did you know he was on the board?
No. How the hell did that happen?
I don't know. We got to look at when he joined. Pretty funny. I mean, it's funny. We were talking about WCW versus WWE refs. Were we talking about that, or was I talking about that with Kevin?
Kevin. I don't remember that.
Because I'm overall a much bigger fan of the WCW refs than the WWE refs. We didn't talk about this?
No.
Because they had Mark Curtis, and they had Nick Patrick was not compared to the other ones. But yeah, but Little Nate was a WCW ref. Billy Silverman was a WCW ref. These guys were animals. They bump all over the ring like crazy. There was a time when WWE had kind of the Tim White type refs who were just like fat and couldn't really do anything. And meanwhile, they had these ping pong balls, like Little Nate and Billy Silverman and Mark Curtis, who would just bump all. There's another one, Randy Anderson. That they were great. The WCW ref crew was fantastic. I love.
How about Billy Silverman? You haven't even given him any love. He's on the group.
I mentioned them 3 times.
That's true. You're going nuts about Little Nate.
No, but the point is, Billy Silverman, one of these refs that I'm a fan of, has he done any cons?
No.
So Billy Silverman, he needs to do a con. He was in Ready to Rumble, so I need him on my poster.
Can we book another referee?
Send him a DM and see what we can do. I bet he would do business. Let's see what he would do. Where is he from?
He's born in Maine. I don't know where the hell he's at now.
I don't know. I'm serious. Let's still send him a DM after this. Anyway, he posted on the board a shot with Chuck Norris, which is kind of awesome. Billy Silverman's photo op with Chuck Norris, very cool. And finally, in response to something we said last week, I don't even remember, you posted your shot with James Marsden. I had never seen it before, and I'm not going to lie, I am a little bit happy that he's wearing sunglasses, because that's not as good a shot as you would want, and I know that for a fact.
I mean, I have bigger names with sunglasses than him. Truth be told, I really was never that concerned about him. I would always take no sunglasses over sunglasses, but it's probably not even a top 20 shot with sunglasses that I would change if given the opportunity.
No, I always go by Jerry's thoughts about sunglasses shots, that you can never be 100% certain that they're valid, because in theory their eyes could be looking away on purpose or even by accident.
Woo.
So on to con news. There's some fun. Some of this stuff is so funny. You got to wonder. We constantly make jokes about Parker Posey. In fact, when we announced that Parker Posey was announced for Awesome Con, we said she'll cancel imminently. She did. She canceled the week of. And as we knew, and Awesome Con was also supposed to be Paul Giamatti's first con, and he canceled as well. So Awesome Con looking decidedly as awesome this weekend. If you were traveling to DC for Awesome Con, I'd like to hear how you feel about this show.
I'll say, though, Giamatti's video gave me hope that he's going to make this right and probably do more of the cons, because it didn't seem like someone that reconsidered. His excuse seemed kind of genuine. Parker Posey's injured. I mean, she's always injured. I mean, she's always canceling cons. How many injuries could she have? I don't trust her excuse. But Giamatti's down in New Orleans allegedly filming. I think he'll do more. I think he'll probably make this right for Awesome Con. And I think NYCC or RICC, one of the two will get him this year.
Oh, I'm confident. I'm confident one of the two will get him. That would be great. The combo gods were listening to me. Don't you find that freaking hilarious? No one knows what I'm talking about yet, but it has to do with Chiller Theater. So last week, we were actually revisiting, or we were asking the question about reunions. No, we were revisiting
someone sent in a question.
Yeah, about reunions. We had revisited last week. We answered it 2 weeks ago. We revisited last week with Office Space, and we got to talking about a reunion that I want, which is Law and Order, the original cast. And you poo-pooed all over it. There's no demand there. No one wants that. And lo and behold, Chris Noth doing his first ever con at Chiller Theater was just announced. How cool is that?
Wait, you mean Chris Noth from Sex and the City fame, right? That guy?
I mean, listen, it does not surprise me that you would know him from Sex and the City. That seems like a show more your speed. But
I've actually never watched Sex and the City. I just see it secondhand in the house.
I've never seen it. But Chris Noth, huge get for Law and Order. I mean, I have my Law and Order coffee table book. I'm very excited.
So let's talk about it now, really quick. Law and Order reunion, you think would be a big hit? Granted, you mostly spoke about Sam Waterston, Chris
Sam
Noth is
Morrison would be a
not.
hit. Well, I mean, Jerry Orbach unfortunately is dead. He would be the other name from that era. Also Paul Sorvino is dead. I think they could do Jesse L. Martin would do great. Right, Jesse L. Martin has 2 big credits: Law and Order and Rent. And I think both. I think he'd do great. Jesse L. Martin.
I think Flash would lap, pun intended, both of them.
I think Flash among the 700-pound female demographic. Yes.
Listen, so are you predicting that Chris Noth is going to be a top 3 draw on Chiller's lineup this year?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. He's a big name for Chiller this year. Yes.
I don't need him. I will be lingering and lurking, and I will be assessing the line.
Wait, you got him?
I got him on Broadway. Yeah, years ago.
I need him. I'm very excited. That to me is the name of the con season, which is crazy because we have like Roseanne and Patricia Arquette. I'm excited. Chris Noth, Chiller is now my number 1 show. Right,
and listen, truth be told, I would get any of these Law and Order people. I'd get Waterston. I'd get any of them that I don't have. I have Martin. I have Noth. I'd get Sam. I'd get a lot of them. Jesse L.
Martin was announced for more than one con and canceled them.
RICC most
recently, yeah.
Most recently, yes. Yeah, so I mean, not to revisit it, I would get all of these people I don't have from Law and Order. I just don't think they would do the gangbusters you think. But I'm open to being wrong. Let's see how Chris Noth does.
Between Sex and the City and Law and Order, Chris Noth is kind of
now you're hedging your bets between Sex. No,
I'm saying. Done. As a draw, he's going to draw. How can you say he's going to draw for one thing over another? There's no way of proving that. You know,
then you're already saying now that no matter how he draws, we can't prove that your Law and Order theory is true. The hypothesis cannot be proven from this experiment.
Of course, that's true. That was always true. You cannot really know which property is going to draw for someone. How could you possibly discern that?
We could stay at the table the entire weekend and click and count and see what people are picking. Well, what print they pull off the table and what they have in their hands.
I mean, I think the problem is there's significantly more merch for Sex and the City than there is for Law and Order, just based on the years that it was. I mean, Chris Noth was on Law and Order in like 92, 93. The merch wasn't a thing for TV shows.
That is true. But to be fair, I did say Noth would draw pretty well for Sex and the City. So if he does well, I did say he probably would. Yeah.
But you said Waterston wouldn't draw, which to me is preposterous. I mean, he would
not draw to a headline level. He is not going to be Olivia Hussey. That's what I'm saying. He could be a top 5, 6 type of name. He'd make money theoretically, depending on the nature of the deal and the expectations. But he's not a headliner for any con. To me, I might be wrong. I might see a line of Law and Order fans cosplaying as judges and stuff, and I'll say I'm wrong.
All right, so I just want to point out the names that they have as their headliners: Chiller, Sally Struthers, Chris Noth, Heather Locklear, James Cromwell, Judd Hirsch are the top 5 names on the list. So, which I think is a very fair.
And for your argument, they have, which I mean, whatever this means, they do have Law and Order as the top graphic on the graphic over Sex and the City. So
I didn't even know he was on The Good Wife. I haven't seen The Good Wife. I heard The Good Wife is actually really good, but I haven't seen it. I mean, Heather Locklear is another one who's just a big name. Very exciting there. Actually, I didn't see that James Cromwell was added. Did we ever announce him?
I thought we did. I sent it to you. I talked to someone about it.
No, I don't think James Cromwell is big. He's LA Confidential. I love James Cromwell, actually.
This is another really, really, really good Chiller lineup, and I think Chill Out is part to blame. I feel like ever since Chill Out became a thing, Chiller has hit the ground running a little faster. Do you think
the Buccos do group ops together like by default?
I would think they're at the same. I mean, after the craziness with the Derry kids, I mean, there might be 4 agents splitting the 2. I don't freaking know, but I would imagine it's the same person with both. So I would think they're sitting together.
I'm looking at this Chiller. God damn, there's a lot of names on here that I need. But they bring in Bob Smigel back. We didn't announce him either.
No, you passed on Bob Smigel the last time.
I did because I was busy and he had a line. I passed on him because he had a line, not because I didn't want it.
No, I have a lot to do here. I have a lot of money to spend. It's not good, but at the same time, it's really good.
This is an insane. I was looking at this lineup, and I even forgot about Robert Wall. We talked about, but I forgot about him.
Don't forget Dash Mihok. He's still here.
No, I forgot. No one cares about Dash Mihok.
Well, India Isley is low on this list.
Very low on the list. I got to be honest. There's that one photo of her as a kid. She looks like Olivia. It's actually weird to see how much she
looks a lot like her mother. She really went nowhere. I guess I don't know.
They're bringing back Burton. They're bringing in Burton Gilliam. Are you going to try to take candid shots of him?
Listen, someone's got to point him out to me first. I even think I would recognize if he knocked at my door right now.
Oh,
I would assume he was a Jehovah's Witness.
What? We also missed they announced Johnny Brennan from the Jerky Boys.
Okay,
I got him at Big Apple 100 years ago. I actually don't need him, but I mean, anytime you get one of the Jerky Boys, well, the other guy doesn't do anything. But Johnny Brennan, were you a Jerky Boys kid? Probably not, right?
No, not at all.
Do you know what that even is?
It's my knee-jerk reaction is it's like Jackass Adjacent, like that kind of show.
No, it was prank phone calls in the early 90s. They recorded prank phone calls. Those tapes got passed around. I remember being in junior high school. Those tapes got passed around like gold.
That actually sounds funny. I love a good prank phone call.
The Jerky Boys 1 and the Jerky Boys 2 are actual genius. As it got Jerky Boys 3, 4, it got less so. There's some stuff on 3 that's really funny. 4 and 5, not great. Then they released the Jerky Boys movie, which actually starred the villain was a big pussy Pompancero. I can't think of his name. What was his name? The actor.
Oh, Vincent Pastore.
Yeah. And so when I met Vinny Pastore, I actually met him at Wizard World, New York. I believe it was Wizard World, New York. Before they killed that show. And I actually have an original theatrical Jerky Boys poster that I had already signed by Johnny Brennan. And when I brought it up, he's like, I forgot about this. He went to this whole thing, but anyway, now I'm looking at Chiller. I'm super excited. You got my adrenaline going here. Chiller is going to be fantastic. Anyway. My point is, my larger point in bringing this up is that we spoke it into existence. I truthfully had absolutely no idea, and that you can vouch for this. We had no idea that Chris Noth was going to be added for Chiller, and we had this whole big thing on him, and the fact that he was announced is very funny.
I think any one of our listeners who's planning on getting Chris Noth should head over to Pro Wrestling Tees right now and purchase the Appease the Combo Gods shirt, because all credit for this booking goes to the Combo Gods, and I guess us secondary for speaking it into existence. More so you. So
I'm going to say once again, we want a Jurassic Park reunion with Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, Wayne Knight, the 2 kids, and a
Velociraptor.
No, I don't need the Velociraptor. Oh my God, hold on to your butts. Sam Jackson. That's what, and BD Wong. BD Wong should be at all these shows. I don't get it. But anyway, that's what we want. Jurassic Park reunion. Anyway, I didn't even finish. No, that's it for Chiller. Steel City added Rob Van Dam. That's fine.
Whatever.
For you talk about Fanatics Fest because it means nothing to me so far.
All right, we are gonna save most of the hype for the hype episode, because last year we did like 4 hype episodes. It felt like. Because they kept changing and adding stuff. But this deserves a mention. David Wright and Jose Reyes will be appearing courtesy of Coaches Collectibles. Jose Reyes is a Virgil. David Wright, Dom of Coaches Collectibles had been working on for years. He did that appearance last year at the Holiday Inn in whatever the hell town it was in Nassau County, Long Island. And now they got him to do a day of Fanatics Fest. So David Wright was originally in the Savage realm, pre-death. Savage's death, luckily, not David Wright. And now he may be moving into the Virgil realm. He's doing a lot. And Fanatics really, it's kind of wild the way they do this. And like now every day they announce a couple of different people. and you start seeing who's doing photos, autos, who's doing panel stuff, who's basically accessible as a collector. And I'm not doing much hype, but I am hyped about Grant Hill doing ops. Grant Hill was a massive, massive name in that, like, those formative NBA years. Grant Hill is one I am for sure getting. I was a little nervous he may just do some sort of a panel like Vince Carter did last year. But he's doing the whole shebang, which is awesome.
Do you not find it interesting that Fanatics is dealing with vendors this year, whereas they hadn't previously?
Which vendors are they dealing with?
Coaches
Coaches Collectibles. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's so much. I think that's the only way you're really going to get David Wright. I think
so. That's a vendor. That's what I'm talking about. They didn't do that in the past. That makes it different. They did it for. What do you mean? You guess it? It's a different business model. They're not bringing the guests themselves. They're paying through a vendor. It's a different model. That's a change.
Do we know, if you go on the website, it looks exactly the same? Do we know how each deal came to be? Do we know how Freddie Freeman is there? Do we know behind the scenes if someone...
if they're announcing a vendor, they're announcing a vendor. They announced...
I don't think... did they announce Coaches Collectibles, or did Coaches... I saw that from Coaches Collectibles.
How the hell do I know? That was you.
I'm saying this was Coaches Collectibles page. I don't follow all these like sports agents. I don't know if they're doing it differently, or it's just that I'm aware of this person, of this vendor. In any case, you are correct.
No, because it's weird, because then why are we even mentioning Coaches Collectibles then?
Because they are the only ones that deal with David Wright. And that's what I saw in my
No. I thought that this was a thing, because how would I know? I thought this was a thing that Fanatics is actually changing about their structure.
No, not to my knowledge.
I don't care.
On the website,
Coaches Collectibles can go jump off a bridge for all I care. It means nothing to me. Oh, no. All right, fine, whatever. All right, I was getting all excited about something for nothing because of the way it was written. All these, yeah, okay, yeah. The problem is you're too friendly with these people. You give them free advertising for nothing. Don't buy anything from Coaches Collectibles unless they pay us. Okay, I got it in my system. Who gives a shit if it's anyway, okay. It's such a funny thing to me.
That's the headline. The point is that David Wright did nothing, and now he's doing two things. That was the headline.
Okay, but that's not it's not germane. Like who gets the 10% is irrelevant unless their coach is going to be there and Fanatics gave them a table. That's relevant. That changes the whole game.
We have to see how photos and autos are sold. Are they going through the Fanatics launch pad, or are they going through the Coaches Collectibles?
I mean,
site?
I don't think it could be a pass through. I want to look at the Fanatics announcement.
I'm not
going to do that right now.
There isn't.
What do you mean?
There wasn't.
He's not even announced.
He's on the website, not on the Facebook. I don't see. I scrolled on the Facebook account. I don't see one. I'm back to February 4th. I don't see it on Fanatics Fest. Some of these pages, they have there's a Fanatics page, there's a Fanatics Fest page. Maybe it's on the Fanatics page, but I saw it on the Coaches Collectibles page. I'm not giving free advertising. I'm just sort of pointing people where the announcement is if they want to see it.
No, I still say no. They can see the announcement on marked out. No more vendor freebies for these people. Because this guy is. It seems like this guy's taint is getting sniffed like every week. I'm sick of hearing his name. I don't even see where is David Wright on this list.
On the bottom,
all the way at the bottom, probably where he belongs.
Hold on, all the Mets are on the bottom.
Well, that tracks.
I said I teed that one up for you.
I was gonna say I don't even care about baseball. There's nothing on here. All right.
Oh, listen, I gotta say one thing, and then I'm saving this for the hype episode. But I've never seen such a presence of like Dodgers. There's so many current Dodgers. I guess the Dodgers are one of those franchises with fans all over the world, but there's a lot of current Dodgers. Who the hell's meeting Will Smith in New York? I guess we'll see.
I'm interested into seeing if Shia LaBeouf shows up to fight Mike Piazza. That would be funny. Are there that many Dodgers? I see 1, 2, 3. Is that a lot?
For current players of an out-of-state team, yeah. Usually it was Mets, Yankees, Giants. Couple, they always do the Eagles and the Phillies and stuff because you get the Philly people coming in. But yeah.
And the WWE list is fairly uninspired, if I'm going to be honest. It's the same stuff from last time.
There's going to be another drop. There always is. And
As a-
I'll be honest though. I'll be completely honest. It looks like the WWE is at least in part on Thursday. I don't think I need much more on Thursday. I don't think I'm gonna take a day off of work for
I mean, only
Stephanie
Cody was announced for
Vaquer.
Thursday.
There's
No
gonna be
one
at
else
least
was
some of the
announced.
other ones. Some of the other ones are gonna be, not all of them, perhaps, but it's not gonna be Cody alone.
Just so you know, that con bumps up against my birthday. So actually, that Thursday is my. You have to take a day off from work. I don't. It's summer. Anyway, I don't know. I will
Was
say.
that
We'll
flex
see.
nated?
I mean, it a little bit. What else do we have going on here? Rhode Island Comic Con announced a Has Been Hotel guests. I don't even know what a Has Been Hotel is. It's a cartoon, right?
Yeah.
Is it popular?
I have no clue, but apparently Patina Miller is in it, and I'm a Power person. I love the Power universe, and she's
what is Power? What is that? What is that?
50 Cent's series on his entire universe on Stars.
Oh,
yes, that's big. I'm very happy about that. I'll be starting a Raising Kanan print.
Patina is a very strange name, by the way.
The funny thing, are you talking about the choice of name her parents made, or you just mean in con?
Yes. No, a patina is like a thin film over an object. It's called a patina. What a strange name! It's not like when you name someone after an inanimate object or something, it should be something a little bit more flattering. It's like naming someone Moss or something, Lichen, right? Yeah, I heard this. Name your first kid Lichen because that'll be funny. That's the equivalent of patina. Anyway. I digress. I'm gonna roll today now. No, but I mean, it looks like a good name from, I guess if you're into Has Been Hotel, and it looks like Kimiko Glenn was named also. It's so funny because on these things you put Orange is the New Black, and like that is her bottom credit at this point, right?
What's her top credit?
She's this voice actor in something big. What is it? Has Been Hotel. That's what it is. And yeah, that's her big thing is Has Been Hotel. And also, she's in Penny Parker in the Spider-Verse cartoons.
Oh yeah, that's pretty big. Yeah.
So I mean, I love Orange is the New Black, but it's fandom wise, it is like at the bottom of these premium tier shows. I don't understand.
We covered on here about Taylor Schilling that she is doing a Eurocon, right?
We talked about it.
Yeah.
It's time, Taylor. Let's go.
Rhode Island, let's do it.
No, I don't want to put anything else into the universe until the Jurassic Park gets booked. So
believe it or not,
I was talking about Chris Noth, and then he gets booked. I don't want to mess with this.
Well, I'm putting this in the universe. You're not the only one with a direct line to the combo gods. If you buy the shirt, it's like rubbing a genie's lamp. You buy the shirt, you get a wish from the combo gods. And I bought a shirt, so allow me to put my thing into the universe.
All right. What else? Terrificon added Newt Lee, who was the kid in the green
I would have
ninja
pronounced
suit.
that differently.
You really? What would you have said?
Not Lee.
Not.
Is that
so
Newt?
You think the H is there just because what exactly?
I figured it was silent.
No. Okay. Anyway, he is. He's a Vietnamese name. Anyway, he was in Peacemaker. That rounds out the Peacemaker reunion. That's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. I might do a group op Peacemaker wise if they offer one. But Terrificon is weird with that. They don't really offer group ops like that in the past.
No,
anyway, we'll see if they do. Chill Out. They announced a whole bunch of stuff. Some of it's kind of interesting. I mean, Oksana Lada she's the Russian girl from Sopranos. The Severino twins, the little girls from The Godfather. Are you gonna get them?
I don't
kind
know.
of a cool name. Kind of a cool name,
It is. I passed on the little twins. Like I guess I had a collection of geriatric twins that used to be famous as children. I passed on the twins from The Shining, which I actually regret now.
Oh, I got them. They were great. They were really funny too, like very funny old ladies. It was that was a great booking. I got 2 autographs from them too.
Someone's got to bring those old ladies back.
Yeah, they have to fly them over from somewhere.
I think I'm gonna get Oksana Lada too. She's not in that many episodes, but I mean, she was always a pretty memorable character.
And her scenes with Tony are hilarious.
Yeah, I think my collection. I think my collection requires her. It does. It just does. Also, Janet Hubert canceled, which kind of makes the Fresh Prince reunion a little less seizure inducing since you don't have two Aunt Vivs in
But
it.
the whole, I don't know, the whole thing with the Fresh Prince. Look, I am not a Fresh Prince fan. I was a little bit old for it when it was on TV. But like the lore of it is that there are two Aunt Vivs. That's like the thing.
That's
so to
not
only
that
have
crazy. I mean, sitcoms in that era, there was all sorts of switches and deletions, and
it was a noteworthy thing. People would
it
joke
was.
about.
I agree.
People would joke about it all the time, right? So it was a fun. I'm not saying it was a fun quirk of the show, and celebrating that quirk was a fun element of Chill Out. So Janet Hubert canceling kind of, to me, loses a little bit of the shine of that fun.
I see.
Quirk.
I see your point. Also, the New Age Outlaws are back on the scene. The Road Dogg has left WWE, and he is now back on the con scene, which is it's good for me. I have a piece for him that I need him on, so I'm excited. And Shamik Moore, I love Shamik Moore. I should get Shamik Moore autographs, but I probably won't.
I mean, Shamik has tripled his price since he was first at Rhode
I know.
Island. Oh God, I think I got 2 autographs or 3. I forget which one. I didn't even get them myself. Did you get them for me, or did Lanza get them for me?
I think I got them for you.
One of the two of you did, or you guys were together. I was on someone else's line. Forget what I was on. You guys got my Shamik Moore, and you got my Dolph Lundgren. Do you remember that?
I do.
It was the same show. I think it was the same show.
Shamik Moore is awesome.
But I believe I sold if I didn't sell my Shamiks, like what I got 2 Funkos signed with quotes and character names and everything. I think they were $50 each or $40 each. Now, Jesus Christ, it's probably $150 each for those things. So yeah.
See, I don't even care about this. I would want him for the Get Down and Dope, but I mean, I imagine he's high on everything.
I'm not sure what those are. Those are movies?
Dope is a movie, and the Get Down is a show about the birth of hip hop, the South Bronx back in like the 80s, 70s, whatever.
Is that guy that we were courting for a signing? Is he on there?
His he's represented on there. He himself is not like physically on there, but yeah,
that's still such a bummer that didn't happen.
Probably
more for you than for me, but still a bummer.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you're shopping for autographs, check out www.markedoutcollectibles.com or our eBay store at Marked Out Collectibles. To contact us for any reason, please email markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com or join the Marked Out autograph collecting community on Facebook, or both. Do you know what I realized? We actually got an email and I read it and I forgot to log it. So we actually got an email question. Do you know that?
Yes, we did.
And you forgot to log it too?
I did forget to log it too.
Right. So what do we have right now coming? I closed the tab. Why don't you do the ads now, our little ads for ourselves, while I pull that email.
All right. So if you want your event, product, or brand advertised on episodes of Marked Out Radio, reach out to us today at markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com. As long as it is not in Chillicothe, Ohio, we will be happy to work with you. Also, if you want your wish granted from the combo gods, the combo gods are fickle, greedy beings. I'm saying that complimentary, so that they're not going to smite me. You want to purchase your Marked Out Radio, Pro Wrestling Tees Combo God shirt, in addition to our other great products. They are on our Pro Wrestling Tees shop. I would recommend getting some to sleep in, get some to mow your lawn in, get some to wear under like suits and tuxedos for weddings. They work in all situations and they are great. And also, if you like what you're hearing right now, even if you don't, please subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Leave us a rating and or a review.
Did you make it all the way through?
I made it all the way through. Thank you for listening.
I wasn't listening. I was frantically trying to edit this this email into something that we can actually read. Okay, I can't believe I was like I thought to myself, you know what? I am going to read this because it's so wonderful. And then once we read the email and then it gets marked red, and I just forget to go back to it. Anyway,
yeah. for me, if something's not like in a place I always look, like what we should have done was screenshot and send it to the Facebook chat instantly. That's the move.
That is the thing we're supposed to do, and yet time and time again we
don't do it because we're idiots.
I don't know. Anyway, the marked out vocabulary word of the week. This is going to piss some people off, but we mentioned it on the show last week without defining it, and so it's important to define it. So the word is switcheroo. So I know the switcheroo has variants, and those variants we can talk about maybe, but can you please explain what a switcheroo is? Because we use it so fluently.
Yeah, switcheroos are great. Unless they happen to us, in which case you would probably rip the heart out of someone's child's chest if they attempted one at our table. But a switcheroo would be when one person purchases a table photo, and then after their photo is taken, they sort of ideally you have your person take the photo you paid for on your phone, and then when the photo is done, you sort of hand your phone to the person in the photo, and the person taking the photo goes next to the celebrity, and then that person takes the photo of the other person. So basically both people get a photo up on the single purchase, and there is no cropping or AI editing needed. Then there are also pro-op switcheroos, where you have lunatics of the hobby out there that don't even buy tickets to the photo ops. They just sort of stand in line with someone that does. They go through under the premise that, oh, we're splitting. And then they don't split it. They just walk through, take the photo, and then they just sort of hide the printout before they get scanned out of the room. And they just have you can't get a digital that way, but you can get a scanned, printed version for free, in theory. But I mean, you're stealing. You're probably, would the combo gods like this because you're getting more offerings, or would it be that you're sort of spitting in the face of the whole process?
I think what we have to realize is that there is some differentiation. There are several combo gods. I think one of them would probably be in favor, while the others would not. One of those kind of deals, like Zeus and Hades and things like that. So
I think when Class croaks, he may ascend to be one of those like loony combo. He might be one of those combo gods that will be all about the mooch.
Probably, because there is something exciting and exhilarating about the mooch, the concept of moocheroos.
How did I do defining it though?
No, I think you did great. I mean, I think so historically the table switcheroo has been a thing. I mean, we pulled a table switcheroo with Ethan Embry, in that you wanted him. I really didn't need the photo op. I already had one previously. So we paid for, I mean, I got multiple. It really kind of helps when you pay for multiple autographs. So I paid for 6 autographs. So it was 1 combo plus 5. Since he signed so much, I took the photo first, or you took the photo first, and then we swapped spots. This way, you took it first in case the switcheroo got blocked. I wasn't going to pay any extra for it.
And they weren't going to reject you after you just dropped $300 at the table. So
exactly. So yeah, and it's a way to save money.
Yeah, I mean, I think the pro-op switcheroo is a little more nefarious, because I mean that's just outright.
And these people, honestly, when you think about the people who came up with the pro-op switcheroo, they were like really looking for ways. How can I exploit this system to steal from it? Honestly, if I'm being honest, it would never occur to me to do what they do. It would never occur to me. I would never be able to think. Now that I've seen people do it, I know what to look for. But what's his face? That guy Cameron got caught doing it at Fanatics, and they started changing their practices to not allow it. Remember?
Yeah, they gave you like a deli line ticket. Like if you were splitting, there was one deli line ticket, and they wouldn't let you next to the person in the room unless you handed them a deli line ticket. It's honestly that simple of a fix. It's again one of those things like we discussed with Monster Mania and all the technology. I mean, these shows, these cons are blasting so many tens of thousands of dollars on a lot of this stuff that the few dregs of society like Cameron that are just scummy enough to do that. The money you're losing big picture is such a pimple on the warthog's ass, so to speak. I mean, you're not going to always do all this. You're going to put an extra, you're going to exert manpower and all this stuff. It's just a drop in the bucket.
So, yeah. So dare I say, I think we should skip the topic again and go to the questions.
I agree.
All right. So let's do that. So first, let's deal with this email. So this email came from John Mazzola, and I'll just read pieces of it, but it was a very nice email, and it ends with a question, so it'll be it obviously belongs in the list of questions. So he says, I first want to say that I really enjoyed your podcast. Oh, thank you, John, for saying that.
Yes.
I have been listening to it since its first episodes. It is the only podcast I look forward to each week. Well, I appreciate the comments, but flattery gets you nowhere. That's not true. I love flattery. It's fine. Just some quick background. I grew up in New York and moved out to Chicago, and I go back to New York a few times a year to visit family and almost always go to New York Comic Con. And I came across the marked out board a few years ago while doing research for New York Comic Con. It was a great resource to see what was happening in New York when I came to visit, and for the majority of the year when I wasn't there, I could live vicariously through the experiences everyone was having. So he writes then about, and he talks about how the board helped him and the Facebook group helped him to discover a bunch of events. But he gets now to a question that he has, and I'm going to be very honest with you. I have never thought about this thing that he brings up, this topic, before in my life. But now that he brought it up, I can't help but think about it. So I'm going to read it. I'm curious if anyone else has the same experience. So he says, the main reason I'm writing is I had a question for the show that I was curious to hear your thoughts on. I was wondering if you had any thoughts on the best place to be in line for a pro photo op to get the best picture. Is it better to be near the front of the line, near the back, or do you think it doesn't really matter? And then the example that he gives is one personal experience that sticks out is that I went to Star Wars Celebration a few years ago and was excited to see Billy Lord. I was in a later group, and basically right before me, there was a person dressed as a super realistic Carrie Fisher. This was right after her passing, so seeing this was very emotional for Billy, and she had to step away and take a break. She later came back and did her best under the circumstances, but you could tell she was still emotional, and the meeting and picture were not as good as if I was earlier in the line and behind someone else. After this, I'm overly analytical of who online I should stand behind. So I'm just curious if you had a preferred part of the line you try to stand in, or do you just get in line wherever and hope for the best? Also, did you have a go-to comment or anything you say to the celeb when you get up there to help get the best photo? I think this is such a you type of question, because now I know you're going to be thinking about this.
Yeah, he's given me a whole new thing to obsess about. Typically, if as a standalone, I usually just want to be as quick as possible. I'll always, even if I'm group 4, I'll manage to get through in group 1, because my logic is the combo gods could strike them dead at any moment, and they will never be more alive than they are right now, so you might as well get it. But oftentimes, I have so many photo ops that you're dealing with 3 and 4 in a 20-minute thing, where Ira and I end up running around the like photo op area, the holding area, like psychopaths. And a lot of times it really comes down to who's moving first. With these big shows like Fanatics Fest, like you said, you never want to really be last because you can get screwed, like people did with how's his name? Beetlejuice.
Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton, I just read it. Yeah, Michael Keaton. You don't want to be at the end. A lot of people missed out on Fanatics Fest ops that way, more so the first year than last year. But it's completely true. We lived the Kevin Costner thing. We sort of lived. We were the heads and the tails of that coin. We were on the front end of the line. We got a photo op with sunglasses. They lost our photo, which I don't know how they did that. We went back through again. He had taken the glasses off, so we got non-sunglass suited. I imagine you could start with no sunglasses, get a headache, put the sunglasses on, and there's no real way you just have to sort of hope the combo gods are smiling on you. The only the only thing that he says that I absolutely, that there's no debating over is the idea that you don't want to be behind someone like the Carrie Fisher cosplayer that's going to make someone emotional. You don't want to be behind the person that grabs a handful of ass or something that's going to make the whole thing just bad and awkward. And if you don't want to pose like from post-COVID, 90s con that you're on the other end of a Christmas tree, that's a problem. So ultimately now you've given me a whole new thing to think about. And I don't know if I should thank you for that, John, or smite you for that. But yes, I have to think about this now. But ultimately, I have so many photo ops, I'm just trying to get them all in, and I don't have the ability to be selective. How about you?
Well, it's funny because this is reminding me of my photo op with Jared Padalecki that time, where the woman before me was one of those women who gropes all over Jared Padalecki types, And so she was, she honestly, he practically entered her. That's how on top of him she was. And it was awkward to watch. And he's a complete pro. So he was, he pretended that she wasn't physically revolting. And I came up next and I kind of made a joke and I'm like, well, I'll tell you what, you don't have to crawl all over me. I don't require that level of hug. And he goes, well, now we have to take a photo hugging. And so he grabbed me and hugged me. So my photo with Jared Padalecki is really weird because him grabbing me in this hug, and we were both mid laugh while we were doing it, because we both, once the woman left, we both felt the awkwardness of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's actually, I really love that picture because it makes me laugh and think about that moment, how funny it was, because at the end of the day, these people are human beings and, he was trying to be human about it and he couldn't help himself. It was funny. So, I'm not really great with these interactions in these moments. I never really have much to say. Once in a while, I'll try and say something. It very infrequently lands very well. So, funny thing. So I was wearing this was at NYCC. I was wearing a Kids in the Hall shirt, of which and that's not uncommon. I wear I have a couple Kids in the Hall shirts and I wear them all the time. And when I got in there, when Shimu Liu from Shang-Chi from Marvel, when he saw me, his eyes lit up. And I'm like, why is his eyes lit up? And he sees me and he points at my shirt and he goes, are you Canadian? Because Kids in the Hall really are very Canadian coded. They are Canadian, but even having their merch is very Canadian coded. And I went, sorry, nobody's perfect. Which then at least broke, because you could tell he was embarrassed for asking after I said no. So when I said nobody's perfect, then we had a good laugh. And then, at least the photo kind of worked out like that. But I don't really typically have much to say. I remember when Larry Fishburne had that freakish purple suit, I just said, love the suit. And he kind of just grunted in my direction. I try to say something that's slightly disarming in the moment so that someone will smile and relax their face and be more natural as opposed to being more posed and serious. This does not always work. It works sometimes where you get someone to laugh or chuckle or smile. It makes it a little bit more authentic. But, and I don't know what it says about me that I'm trying to get faux authenticity. It's kind of sad actually hearing it out loud.
I
don't know. That's what I got. But I to answer the question, the main part of the question, I try and get as close to the front of the line as possible because I don't want to deal with the possibility of leaving and dealing with that headache is worse than the possibility of someone being slightly uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I didn't actually answer the part about the comment. I much like you don't really have, there's things I've said, not a ton. I'll typically fist bump, hello, and that's it. I did lie to Rainn Wilson that time about recording him. I'm not sure if that made him more or less loose, probably less.
I don't think he believed you, so.
Yeah. Not sure he thought I was being funny when I said no, or he thought I was a weird man lying about recording another man in a very public place that he had no right to be private in. But yeah, this was really a great question. I never thought of several of those things. Definitely not the placement in line. And I really never really gave much thought into what I say either. So I'll be chewing on both of these, I think, for quite some time.
All right. Question from Jack Proctor. Say Jack has kind of climbed his way pretty quickly to a major contributor
He's
on
a
the
top
Facebook
guy.
group.
He's a
Yeah.
top guy.
He's risen in the ranks. He's a main event talent now.
Yeah.
His question is, what piece in your collection holds the greatest sentimental value and why, regardless of monetary value?
All right. Do you want me to go first, or are you going to?
Yes, you go first because I'm going to approach this question very differently than you. So
Yeah. This is the kind of question where I have one quick knee-jerk answer that comes to mind, and then I try to think deeper to see if there's something better or something more meaningful. But the answer is something like this, for the way I'm going to answer it, it's what comes to mind first. That's obviously the piece I think that matters most. So I am going to go with my original one-sheet movie poster from the classic Disney reboot of Flubber.
Sorry. I was going through in my head of all the things you could possibly say, and I was just completely disarmed by that because that was not on my list at all.
Don't let the 5.3 on IMDb fool you. Flubber is a great film, and one of the many trips, and I think at some point I have to do a full segment on my Robin Williams exploits that even roped you into them once. But
this was not with me.
No, this was not. This was Ira and I. We got to the theater waiting for Robin. I had this full-sized Flubber poster. And talk about skydiving. I trusted Ira at this point in my life. I think I had a pen, but I couldn't find it in the moment. We got there like obscenely early. Like if you did Broadway, like you would know for like a 2:00 matinee. You know what time they'd normally get there. I'm not going to blow that up because listen, spots matter. And information needs to stay.
Now that would piss off the combo gods if you started revealing stuff like that.
Exactly. I'm not trying to piss them off because I want Taylor Schilling to appear somewhere stateside. Anyway, so all of a sudden, within maybe 5 minutes of us being there, Robin Williams is walking up the block with someone. I don't know who the hell he was with. And I'm fumbling with my poster, and I couldn't find a pen. So Ira pulls a pen out. I think Ira's item, I'll tell Ira had. Ira may have had his Man of the Year DVD, which is probably as crazy of an item as mine. So he takes Ira's pen, and of course, as luck would have it, as I think you would honestly expect from a pen that came from Ira, it was not a perfect pen. And Robin Williams made some joke about it being as dry as someone's nuts. And I don't know, I don't remember whose nuts he said. And the funny thing is somehow kids found out that I met celebrities the other day at my job. And I was telling the kids this Robin Williams story because they asked me, like, what was your favorite, like, experience? And I reached a point about the dry nuts. And I had to think of a kid-friendly way to sort of not mention nuts, but talk. And I sort of just glossed over that whole segment of that part of the story. But in any case, I found my pen. So Robin hit the poster with my pen. And he did an inscription. And he signed it. And of course, there's like, you still see the faint, like, Ira pen under it. He tried to like trace over it. And, you know, it would bother someone like you. But when I see that like sort of silhouette of the shitty marker, it makes me laugh and think about Robin Williams making fun of Ira's like dead pen. And I genuinely loved Flubber as a kid. I did. I probably watched that clamshell VHS 97 times. It was one of my absolute favorites. And it came out when I was 10, so maybe I was a little old to love it so much. But I loved it, and I still do.
So that's your final answer.
Oh, I just realized, crap.
What?
Marcia Gay Harden's the love interest. Do I add her to the Flubber poster at Steel City?
You gotta. What kind of stupid question is that?
Do I just keep it Robin only?
No, Marcia Gay Harden, she's the love interest. She's the co-star. She's the big name. Why wouldn't you do that? Stop it.
Damn it. Damn you, Jack. This question, listen, I'm sending Jack a bill for this autograph. This question is my quote. Then I have the anxiety of bringing the poster out. Well, what if I lose it? I don't know. This is not good. It's your turn. I'm done.
On what planet would you lose?
The same planet where I lost my meta glasses.
No, but, oh God.
It's true.
No, but it just doesn't. I don't know. Like, you need to figure out a way to be more sort of focused and less scattered. Because even losing a pair of glasses like that at a con, you lost your poster tube at Monster Mania by just leaving it, and I found it thankfully. But like,
I
there's sort
don't.
of a
Here's the reality, and I agree with you. I don't do well if I have like 45 things in my hands. I don't. I get tunnel vision in like some aspect of what I'm holding, and I sort of let the other stuff go. I really need the cart. I need the cart at all times, that I can just dump everything into the cart. I'm not going to forget the cart. If it's in the cart, I'll take the cart and I'll go. If I have seven things in my hands,
put the
I'll
Flubber
forget
poster
one.
in the cart. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Marcia Gay Carton just blows up the silver deco?
The beautiful thing, it was signed in black Sharpie, so all I would need is a super
Get a
Sharpie.
black super Sharpie. Yeah, I think you should do it, honestly. And I think
I have to.
and I really think she'd get a kick out of it.
I mean,
really
it's definitely going to be the only Robin Williams signed full-size Flubber
with an inscription. I think she'll get a big kick out of it.
It's not a movie inscription. He wrote like "Ride On," which was like his standard. If he actually liked you and wanted to give you a good graph, that's what he would do. Ride on, and that was like his thing.
I mean, you could tell with the story. I think that's a perfect item. Of course, it's going to mean you're going to be in line for Marcia Gay Harden. I don't think you anticipated. No, you're going to get the. Did you get the pro op or you get the table op?
I already have a photo op, but do I get a photo op holding the poster? I don't know.
Oh, I was going to suggest maybe we split or we switcheroo or something.
Yeah, we switcheroo. That's what we'll do. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it.
Do we want to start making it a practice of switcherooing?
I think we should. But we're hypocrites. You more so than me, because you would murder someone for switcherooing.
Well, no. My thing is, I believe the vendor needs to be alert and paying attention for a switcheroo.
We had one guy who's a listener of the show. I don't want to air him out, but I remember he actually, his buddy was spending pretty good money at our table.
Yes, and he switcherooed. Yes, I know who you're talking about.
But
yeah.
He asked me. He gave me the courtesy of like, do you mind? And I said no, because he's a long-time user. His friend spent money, and I was fine with it. I liked it.
And I actually leaned over to you and said, "This is switcherooing," and we just laughed about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's sort of an understanding that if you're spending money, come on, what are we doing here? You know?
I mean, listen, there is a price where if you spend enough at the table, if you ask if you want to like tickle my butthole, I mean, we can make it happen.
There, yeah.
Make it happen if you're dropping enough cash. Or buying enough T-shirts.
So my answer to this question is a little more complex insofar as I don't really feel sentimentality the way that other people describe feeling it. I don't feel sentimentality for objects. Like if someone give me an offer on anything in my collection, and I'm like, all right, if it's good enough. I mean, and this has happened before, where like big centerpieces of my collection. I mean, I had that winged eagle belt that I sold for $5,000. I had that GHC, the Japanese GHC belt that was signed by Sasaki and Morishima and Kenta. I sold that for $4,000, I think. It's $3,000 or $4,000, I can't remember. My Law and Order SVU jacket, which no one thought I would sell, sold that for $2,000. So, I don't really have those feelings like, oh my God, I can't sell. Oh, this is so special to me. That's because I think my attachment to these things is derived from two vectors. First is the knowledge and experience that it got done. And then second is the aesthetic of it. And so if something is stored away and I'm not even looking at it on a daily basis, the aesthetic value is diminished. And so if the offer is good, I'm like, screw it, let's go. And so I don't really know. I mean, here's my answer. Actually, this is a perfect answer. I can't remember. This is going to be ugly now. I can't remember. Did I tell the Chuck Palahniuk story on the air or I didn't?
Yes, you did.
I did. Okay. So as part of I thought I did. So as part of the Chuck Palahniuk story, I got a letter, a very personal letter that contained stuff about. So just to recap, in case you didn't hear, one of my students met Chuck Palahniuk, and somehow, some way, she put me on this list of people where he contacts personally and sends them a gift box of all kinds of stuff, and a letter. And anyway, Chuck Palahniuk sent me a letter that contained personal information about himself, information about my student that she told him, and information about me, presumably, that she told him, and he signed it. So that is technically an autograph, and I would say it is probably, it's sentimental only because I could never sell it. Like, I also have that necklace by Chuck Palahniuk, and he signed the outer box above the necklace, and I wouldn't sell that either, but it has my name on it, but that's probably my answer. And it's probably not worth anything. Obviously, I don't think anyone else would want it because it's like on computer paper. But
yeah, and I just want to throw one thing in because I'm seeing. I think we sort of alluded to this. You did last week, I believe, with the Toonie Terrors. But I think I'm starting with certain things. Like, not everything is not inventory. I would not sell the Flubber poster, but I'm starting to open up to more of my collection is inventory for the right price than it used to be. What I didn't, this was supposed to be on the show notes, and we forgot to put it in.
We were joking about it yesterday. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, but I threw, which this is the first time I'm mentioning this in the marked out universe. I threw my Welcome to Derry poster up on eBay for a price that it's probably not going to sell for. I put it up for $1,500 with basically the thought that I have some wiggle room around that number. I'd go a little lower, but anything like much lower, like some idiot offered me $200. It was auto rejected. And then he messaged me oh, I was at Monster Mania. I really like this poster. Are you negotiable? And I felt like saying, moron, you were at Monster Mania. You know what I just paid to get this signed. How are you offering me half or less than half? That's insulting. But I mean, I'm pretty sure I won't end up selling it because no one is going to make me an offer in that realm. But if someone floats me a $1,200 offer, I will hit accept super quick, and I'll be pretty damn happy with that sale. And that was just something that I was gathering for my PC a few weeks ago. So I see your point more and more that, not everything that's PC is necessarily going to stay PC, and everybody's got a price in most cases. And I'm starting to purging certain things and throwing certain things up for big offers, and I'm more open to it than I was maybe even a year ago.
Yeah, so I mean, and I have other things that I like and that I'm not itching to get rid of right now. But I would say my Chuck Palahniuk signed letter is probably what's closest to sentimental. And the second, if I was going to rank them, the second would be my Bernie Sanders signed action figure that I got mailed back from his campaign office, just because the whole saga with that is funny and I kind of love it. So
when Bernie dies, that's not going on eBay.
Probably will. I have this whole display, anyway. And we do have this last question. We're going to punt for next week also.
Correct.
All right. I'll make a little, I'll just make, I don't want to delete. Let's just strike them out or something.
Okay.
I don't know what to do. We'll do that so that we don't read them again. All right. Awesome. I lost the doc. Okay. So what do we have coming up? Let's run through this really fast. We're way long. So we have big event this weekend. You're going to be running big event solo for the first couple hours, and I'm getting there later. I'll try and get there as early as I can. We did this with Liger that time. It's not the most fun way to do it, but I mean, Tom keeps making the big event on the weekend of something that I can't miss. So it's a little bit frustrating. I really was happy when he first announced the big event was going to be the other weekend. I was really happy this wasn't going to be an issue, and then lo and behold, here we are. We are locked in. We are committed to Steel City Con. We have our hotel booked. We have our tickets purchased. I'm very, very excited about Steel City Con. It's a great lineup. Of course, we are both at Chill Out and Chiller Theater, and I'm going to be honest with you. Chiller Theater is now a major show for me, whereas it wasn't. It's now a major show. I'm very excited. You put Terrificon with a question mark. I think we both know we're going to wind up at Terrificon, right?
Agreed.
And then we also have Keanu Reeves meet and greet. I actually have to I have a couple other meet and greets over the summer. I have a meet and greet with Simple Plan. I have a meet and greet with Dashboard Confessional. So I have a few other ones. I need to get the dates on there and put them in as well. But I do have those meet and greets that you are not a part of.
I'm shocked Keanu hasn't sold out yet. I'm waiting to see if something tells me by next recording it's going to be. I mean,
probably by today, I imagine. By later on today, it'll be sold out. I don't know. But this I don't know. This may be the kind of things where they just open it up to an unlimited number. If they have 400 tickets, they'll sell them all as VIPs, right?
That is true. It's not an arena stadium show. It's Webster Hall's an intimate venue.
So if you're shopping for autographs, check out www.markedoutcollectibles.com or our eBay store at Marked Out Collectibles. To contact us for any reason, email markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com or join the Marked Out Autograph Collecting Community on Facebook. And as of right now, we've closed mail-in sales for Rick Martel and Don Morocco. However, if you would like to order a big rubber guy, you can do that on the website. We can take orders up to that day for those big rubber guys because we're gonna receive them the day of. So we're gonna leave those orders open. Honestly, if you collect big rubber guys or if you collect wrestling, you're a fool if you don't order one because once they're gone, they're gone. This is a limited run. This is a con exclusive. Unless you're gonna be there, fine, do your own thing. But if you're from far away, you think you're gonna get it after the fact, you're not. We're actually not. We're not taking stock on the exclusive figure. So whatever we pre-ordered, I believe the pre-orders are into the double digits on those already. Yes, they definitely are. We will take whatever we can up until Saturday. I have no problem taking those orders, but no more than that. So you do that, and of course, we have our private signing with Brooke Shields. Which is taking place in the coming weeks after Chill Out Con. Again, if you're not local, Brooke Shields, this is probably a one-and-done type of situation. She has iconic print ads that everyone knows, everyone remembers. She has these iconic Vogue magazine covers. She has, all kinds of film and television roles. Hell, if you're a wrestling fan, we have incredible shots of Brooke Shields wrestling Hulk Hogan those are from her show Suddenly Susan, and Hulk Hogan guest starred as Hollywood Hogan. So we also have a fantastic shot of Brooke Shields arm wrestling Hulk Hogan with Kathy Griffin as the referee from the 80s as well. So it might be the early 90s actually. I think it's actually the 80s. I gotta check that picture again. But we have a lot of incredible prints for Brooke Shields, and we really are super excited about this. We also have another signing to announce in the near future. We just got to put all the details together. So by next show, we're actually going to drop a second announcement as well for another private signing. It's funny because a couple months ago we said, we have nothing on the horizon. And now we had these big signings. Honestly, I'm just speaking from the heart. The Martel thing is so much bigger than I thought it was going to be that it's a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah, the way you are with Brooke Shields is more the way I was with Martel. You were sort of like, I don't know, the price is high. I don't know if people really, care that much at that price. And you sort of went along with my enthusiasm the way I am now with Brooke, and it's paid off. Which I guess, as we said a few weeks ago, the yin and the yang. We each bring something to the table, and as far as early 90s WWF talent, that's definitely my wheelhouse, more so than anything else. But just to be completely transparent, the purple big rubber guys we will take orders on until the day of. The blue, this is not carny, this is not salesmanship. We have one, and if no one buys it, we are going to get it done with as many bells and whistles as Martel's tired hand will slap on it. And we're going to put it up on eBay for a very big number. And we're going to get as much juice out of the orange as we can. So if you want that blue Martel for the price we're charging, you got to get it now because we're jacking that up and we ain't lowering it because Martel's not coming around again, at least not around here again. And this is your chance to get it done. And those exclusives, what the exclusives go for on eBay, unsigned. This is $175 with the autograph. That is a pretty damn good price for a giant chunk of rubber in a package, which sounds insane, but they really hold their value. So don't hesitate.
So I think that's it for this extremely long show, by the way.
I don't like this that we keep hanging around 2 hours. We can't shake it.
Yeah, this is what we gotta. Yeah, it's. I don't know what to do. But listen, the response to these shows has been great. The number of listeners is continuing to increase. I remember like biting my nails in the beginning until we got 50 listeners, and I was like, what? And that was like in the beginning, that was like a milestone, and we're so beyond. It's like actually insane how beyond and how high some of these episodes are. It's always funny trying to predict which episodes are going to be the ones that are successful. And, I just want to point out, I was joking with Dana that in recent memory, the one that really peaked recently was the episode where we discussed whether Brooke Shields was the biggest con guest ever. So I find that funny. But in any case, thank you for your continued support. And we cannot wait to see everyone at the cons. And we're going to post on the group this week the details for Sharpie Social, a big event. We probably should have had them ready for this show, but we were so busy yesterday, and we really did a ton of manual labor all day long that we just didn't have time to firm that up. So we will, by the time this is posted, we will have information about the Sharpie Social, and we hope to see everyone there who attends big event.
Agreed. And I still say we should host it at Taco Bell so I can get reward points for my food purchases.
Listen, there's certain things that you don't want to publicize. I am the same way. There's certain things that I don't want to publicize about myself. There's certain things you probably shouldn't publicize about yourself.
I'm an open book.
And the kind, and your sort of really, really extraordinarily basic tastes in food is one of those things. But
remember, at the diner for the Posca party, I ordered a cheeseburger with American cheese and, an all vanilla milkshake. So I'm not that basic.
I mean, anyway. So for markedout.com, Marked Out Collectibles, Marked Out Radio, I'm Sean.
And I'm Dana.
And we'll see you at Big Event.